here I was. I'm humbled. Here I was at the beginning of this thinking, how far am I going to get into this before I DNF it? My name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the start of another weekend vlog. Hi, hello. It is officially Saturday. I am here just about to eat some toast before I go out to the thrift store, potentially. Indigo has a deal right now where it's buy 3, get 1 free. Who knows what I'm gonna end up doing? I just wanna kind of go out for a little bit. And I have an audiobook I need to listen to because book club is tomorrow. Scribbed locked it behind bars before I could get to it. So I need to listen to it today. I have no idea what it's called. How to Kill a Man and Get Away with It or something? I'm not sure. But I'll let you know how I like it when I get into it. Last night was my little birthday shindig. Very happy, very lovely time, as is always when I'm with my friends. We ended up making crafts. I ended up doing fun little ghosties. I did this ghostie, which has a mushroom top head, and this ghostie, which is a little witch hat. Very fun, very good idea on my part to have the oven baked clay, polymer clay, as an activity, because it went over very well. It went over very well. We also had bracelets, but I think by the time we got to the bracelets, everyone was kind of tired. I ended up making a bunch because I was up till like 2 after they all left. So I was just sitting on my couch making them, watching some Gap Smolders. That was my day. I should probably do a birthday haul at some point. I'll give you one of them. My parents got me this big old Yeti boy, and I'm very happy about that because this big old Yeti boy is gonna take care of my iced coffees. It's been a good weekend so far. After I go out and kind of do my thing and listen to my audiobook, I'm gonna come home and do some more reading. I have a bunch of books that are currently piled over behind me that I'll talk to you guys about when I get home as to what I'm currently reading, other than the book club book, which I still can't remember the name of, but that's fine. And I'll do that. I also have a lot of books next to me that have been living in my storage room for well over a year that I think I should finally bring to Valley Village and unhaul them, you know, officially. I got a whole bunch of them there, and then I lined up more on my wall over there. I think today's the day to bring them and to rid them, get them out of my house. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I wanted to start this vlog because I realized I never did yesterday. Yesterday was a day off. I took the day off because usually I take my birthday off of work, but because my birthday's on a Wednesday, it felt weird taking a Wednesday off, so I took Friday off instead. I spent the day doing stuff, which was, it felt like I didn't have a day off because I was like grocery shopping and doing some more cleaning, and then like got home and I like organized and was doing cooking and baking and all sorts of stuff to prepare for my friends coming over. And then they came over and I was like, wow, what a day. It feels like I didn't have a day off, but I'm glad that I took the day off because I needed that time to do all this stuff. I will catch up with you guys a little later. Friends, it is now much later and I am back home currently eating a bowl of popcorn for dinner because what else am I gonna do except for that? So, and I'm crocheting because of course I went to Michael's. I have been seeing that hexagon cardigan everywhere. My friend made it actually a couple years ago, I think, the full hexagon cardigan, but I've been seeing people transform it into like a pullover, and I was like, well, that's my next project. Of course I had to go get yarn because I literally finished my Evermore cardigan, which is right here, and I need something else to do with my hands. So what better way than spending like $70 on yarn and making yourself a sweater? I had a great little adventure. I went to Valley Village and found a number of things. I will show you in a second. But then after that, I went to Michael's, as I said. The entire time, I was listening to the audiobook for How to Kill Men and Get Away with It by someone Brent. I can't remember the author's name. It was fine. It was okay. It was enjoyable. I will say, absolutely whack listening to a audiobook where it starts off with like the scenes that I was listening to, just a raging sex scene and then a raging murder scene within an hour of each other. As I was walking around Michael's looking at yarn, I was like, this is a vibe, and I kind of like this vibe. The audiobook was very entertaining. The story itself was okay. I wish there was a little bit more consequences for our main character. There wasn't, even though she was a murderess. Like, she wasn't blamed for, I don't know, it just felt too easy for her to get away with what she was doing, you know? Like, I just wish there was a little bit more stakes in that regard. But I thought the storyline was kind of fun. I will warn you, for mentions of rape and sexual assault and awful, disgusting men in that capacity, obviously murder and grime and descriptions of violence. Yeah, I think, wasn't there a movie recently? I haven't seen it, but wasn't there a movie about a woman who decided to get revenge on all these men who were raping and hurting women by killing them and becoming like a mass murderer herself through that and like feeling justified in her killings? It was kind of like that. It felt a little also on the lines of My Sister the Serial Killer, but a lot more fun. And from the point of view of like who the sister would be, because the sister is a serial killer in that book, My Sister the Serial Killer. So it was fun, I think. Yeah, the voice of the narrator was really interesting. Also, so the fact that she's an influencer is also very interesting to me, because she has literally nothing going on. She is a Nepo baby, but in the way of like, her family has money from being a butcher family, like meat and animal products, and she's literally like, yeah, I live on literal blood money. She says it a few times in the book. It's really interesting to have her as our narrator, because she's got nothing going on. She just takes pictures every once in a while for Instagram and tries out products and stuff, and she's incredibly cynical, goes out for drinks with her friends. Her friends are interesting, but we didn't get enough of them in my opinion, and I want more from their side of the story, or just I want more of their personalities and more of their story on page. It's brutal. There's a lot of brutal content in here, but it was presented in a really interesting kind of flat way. I think this would make a fantastic mini-series TV show in the style of Only Murders in the Building. I think it would be so funny. I truly, truly do. So yeah, that's the reading update for the day. I don't know when I'm gonna rate that book. I will probably wait until after book club to kind of throw it through Cop-Pile and see. I'm gonna show you what I got at the thrift store today. First up, I added these two little frames to my wall. How cute. So I got this one here. It is literally like frame and photo from the thrift store, and I think it's just absolutely so cute, and it goes with some of the gold bits on my gallery wall, and the colors are so beautiful and muted. And then I also got this frame at the thrift store, which is a green. Can't really tell in this lighting, but it's a green because my friend did this beautiful little cross stitch for me for my birthday, and so I needed to frame it immediately and put it on the wall. I was gonna put these on the gallery wall because I have spots that I could have, but I was like, what if I add it to this wall instead so I could see them all the time? And I think that was a great decision, especially with my like books and plants and stuff. So love it. And then I also ended up getting these mugs, these bowl mugs from Value Village. I got this and its pair for $2.99. Screaming. But if you know me, I eat everything out of bowl mugs. Literally, I have bowl mugs galore. So this is extremely satisfying to me, because this doesn't look like a coffee mug to me. This is a bowl with a handle, and it's absolutely beautiful. I cannot with these colors. And the fact that it came in a pair, overwhelming, love it so much. And then I saw this one actually first, and it was a beautiful little Winnie the Pooh bowl mug, which could also double as a coffee mug because it's that kind of a size. But this is a perfect like cereal bowl size for me, and I adore Winnie the Pooh with my entire soul, and I just couldn't pass him up. Look at those little bees, and on the inside on one of these there's a little fleur. I'm obsessed. That was my thrift store trip. Love it for me. There were no books, unfortunately, and I decided to not go to Indigo because I have bought so many books in the past month and a bit. I sincerely don't need to spend more money on books, because literally on my birthday I went to the store and bought books. So I'm gonna tell you about the books I bought, and then also the books that I got for gifts, because my friends know me so well, which is amazing. Okay, this is kind of a weird angle, but it's fine. So what I ended up getting on my birthday, I went to the Indigo close by because I got an email that reminded me that I had a package that are waiting for me, because I took advantage of that buy two get one free Rick Riordan sale that Indigo had, and finally purchased my very last missing Rick Riordan book, and two from the Rick Riordan Presents collection. These were there waiting for me. I got the third book in the Storm Runner trilogy because this is another one of those, a possibility for a series, or at least like I now have all three books and want to read them all because I really loved book one. It's one of my favorite Rick Riordan Presents, so might as well finish the series. I also got book two for Tristan Strong by Kwame Ambalia because I read book one a couple years ago when I still lived at home and really enjoyed it the second time I gave it a chance, so I figured might as well continue the series. I had to get the hardback of the second one to match, which is lovely. And of course, Magnus Chase, the last Rick Riordan book that I needed to get to complete my series. So I now have Magnus Chase as well. Weird, this angle is slowly dipping, which is fine. But yeah, now I have all of the Rick Riordan books, with this one being the last one that I needed. So those are the three that I picked up when I was there. And then I had, because it was my birthday, they did a 20% off coupon plus the 10% off of Plum Plus. So I got these two books for the price of if I had just bought the Bone Season full price, which is so exciting. So I got both of them for $49 roughly. I got The Midnight Kingdom by Tara Sim, which is the second book to City of Dusk, which I didn't know was out, didn't even know it was a thing. Annoyingly, my version, I don't know if you could tell, is cut stupid. So like, it's a little wonky. It's fine. And like, even on the inside, actually, the margins are really stupid. It's like, it's a misprint, but I don't care. It's still readable. But yeah, it's the second book in the City of Dusk series, which I'm very excited to get into. And of course, the Bone Season, which is what I went for originally. Like, this has been on my mind because it was like $40 regular. Literally, it's $40 before tax. It says on the inside here, $40 Canadian before tax, because it matches Priory, and like it's the same artist as Priory and Day of Fallen Night. I had to, like, it literally matches in size. She's beautiful, kind of a thing. I wanted it. So I was like, might as well wait until I get my birthday discount and then get it then, which was such a great idea on my part. But yes, now I have this, and I'm excited to reread the Bone Season with this version to see what changes Samantha Shannon has done. And then when she releases the next couple as revisions, to read those and continue with the series, because I haven't read that series. I've only read the first one, which is on my shelves up there higher, but that's okay. And then for my birthday, I got Educated by Tara Westover from a family friend out in BC, which is very lovely. She also sent me jam, some soap, a lovely letter, and also like a little notebook. Like, there's a bunch of stuff. She always sends like a goodie bag of things, which is so lovely of her to do. And she always includes a book because she knows how much I love books. And this one has been on my radar for a really long time. As you guys know, I'm not a big nonfiction fan. So at some point I will get to this, probably through audiobook, because that's what I do best with nonfiction, because then it reads like a podcast. But I'm very happy to get this either way. Have you guys read Educated? Let me know if you liked it or not. And my friend Sophie got me Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher, so I am returning the copy that I bought. And my friends got very mad at me because they tell me, and they're like, you know, you're not supposed to buy the books that are on your wish list around your birthday, because I had given them a list that was like basically any T. Kingfisher except for these, which included 4 that I already owned: Clockwork Boys, Paladin's Grace, House with Good Bones, and Nettle and Bone. And then I went out and bought Thornhedge because it was part of a deal when I was getting Morningstar. I saw Thornhedge for like really cheap, so I got it at the same time. So I'm gonna return my copy because my friend got me it, which I'm very happy with. And thank you so much, Sophie, for getting me this. I'm so pleased, and I'm so excited to read this book, like, honestly, which is why I bought it. I'm so excited to read it. And my friend Sophia got me Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, which has been on my to-read list for literally years. Canadian superstar, this woman here. But yeah, so this is the books my friends got me, or that I got for my birthday. And then I also got me this little pumpkin, which I should probably put with my ghost friends, but I don't have any room, so it's currently sitting on my piano. Actually, no, it's gonna sit right there. Cute little guy. That's the birthday haul. Now let's talk about books. Now let's talk about the books that I am going to be reading from this point on, what I'm currently reading. I am currently reading 4 different books. So I'm currently reading Son of a Sailor by Marshall J. Moore. I'm like only 30 pages in because I started it this week one day and just didn't get any further in it. Still reading Morning Star. Need to wrap that up at some point. Kind of reading Assistant to the Villain. The audiobook has now been released to me, so I might pick this one up if I need something really quick. And on my birthday, I started rereading The Starless Sea, which I am I'm enjoying so much. And this book to me is a very slow read, and I want it to be a slow read because I'm savoring it. So this is actually one of the first audiobooks in well over a year that I'm listening to at lower than 3-point speed. I think I'm listening to it at a 2 or a 2.5. I can't really remember because I need the speed to like kind of go with my reading speed, which is about at a 2.5. It's a little faster usually, but when I'm reading this one, I like slowly take it in, and I am annotating over my old annotations as well with different colors. This is my favorite book of all time, and so far I'm only about 111 pages in. It is just securing itself as that in my mind. I picked up a book from the library, which I put on hold simply because I needed to know if the hype was real. And since putting it on hold, I was number like 50 something when this book came out originally. And I was like, that's fine. I'll wait until it comes in. I don't need to spend my own money on this book that I know I'm probably not gonna love, because I've seen so many reviews after the fact that like the writing isn't very good. It's just not for a regular fantasy reader. I've even heard people say it's a fantasy book for romance readers. So, and my friend last night actually, she says that she has a few hours left of this book on the audiobook, and she said that you go in and you turn off your brain and you have a good time. Like, you expect very little out of this book. You expect to go in and just vibe, and you're gonna have a good time. She's like, it actually feels like reading like Divergent when you're in high school, like that old teenage feeling of reading a book. And I'm like, okay, so like if I go in with no thoughts, empty brain, I will find out if Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros is worth it. I might read this at some point this weekend. I might start this and read this. But as for the rest of today, I do not know. But yes, I kind of want to make this a priority. And if I start it this weekend, I am finishing it this weekend, because Hannah also said, who's reading Fourth Wing right now, that it was a mistake to put it down because she ended up having to give her hold back to the library and then getting it back herself at some point. So there was a break between the 2 times that she was reading it. She said that it was a mistake to do so because she's enjoying it less a little bit now. It would have been better if she had just read it all in one fell swoop. So good to know. I'm going in absolutely no thoughts, absolutely no expectations. I want to know. I just want to know. The FOMO is so real. But yeah, these are probably the 3 options for this weekend. We got a cozy fantasy, an interesting enemies to lovers fantasy. Enemies to lovers? No, I don't even know what to classify Assistant to the Villain. And then we have the TikTok star. We'll see what I end up getting up to. But for now though, I'm just gonna hang out, watch some content, and we'll see where the rest of the day takes me. Hello friends, it is now a fair bit later, and I have been listening to Assistant to the Villain. I'm doing some crocheting, watching some Gab Smulders, as is the usual. I'm on page 184, and this book isn't good. I really want to enjoy it, but it's kind of a mess. The writing isn't that great, and maybe it's the audiobook that's throwing me off, but I did read the first like 50 pages with just my eyeballs, and I was struggling to get through it without an audiobook because I was like, nah, there's something off about the writing that I just keep getting hooked on sentences and it pulls me right out of the story just because it's not quite as polished as a published book should be. Quite honestly, it feels like a self-published book, and I say that in the way of like one of those ones that hasn't quite been edited as to the place where it should be. So that's interesting to say. I don't know why my first instinct is to compare it to a self-published book, because I am a self-published author. But a lot of the self-published books that I have read feel like this. They feel like they're not honed into the perfect level of editing that they can be, I guess, is the way I'll say that. I don't know. This one is not good, and I want to strangle Evie. She is such a pick-me girl. And I hate saying that. Mary Sue, maybe is the better way to say it. She's so clumsy, and she's just so frilly, and she's so observant, and she knows so much about the boss, but then yet she doesn't see how in love he is with her. It's so grating. It's so grating when so many of these scenes are just because she's clumsy, and she's just like, oops, and like falls into his arms. And there's one scene in here that could have been completely avoided if she had just said to him one sentence, "It was blades." No. She had to be so drama and run out of there with an "I quit" and like run away. I think I'm gonna DNF this. I don't want to, because I really want to enjoy this, but I am, oh God, I'm on chapter 29, and I know this is not even a standalone, so I know it's not going to be satisfying enough for me, because the slow burn is too slow burning, because both of these people are stupidly into the other person and they're doing nothing about it. And like the actual like fantasy of this is grating on my life. Like it's fine. It's fine, but it's just not good. Why is a villain running a fucking office? In a medieval fantasy setting. Like there's blacksmiths and shit, and yet there's an office that the villain runs and nobody knows it. Like that doesn't make any sense at all. Like he employs so many people and yet no one knows that the villain is running this office and that's where his like headquarters are. I don't buy it, to be honest. And like I was enjoying the kind of funny like humor level at the beginning, but it's just like the cutesy clumsy oops kind of stuff at the beginning was fine, but it's so fucking much, and it's too much for me. Like I love Grumpy Sunshine. It is my favorite romance trope. This is childish. That's what this is. I get that the author is trying to give Evie more substance by having her like need this job because she's got a sick father and a sister to look after, and she has like a tragic past with her mother and some sort of magic incident and her other brother who's no longer around. I don't know. And the fact that she's so brave in front of this evil villain guy, even though he's literally never given her a reason to be scared. Even though he's like still shocked that she's so brave around him. I'm like, honey, she's been working for you for years. Like she sees that you're just a cinnamon roll wrapped in a knife. Like that's obviously, right? Yeah, it's annoying me more than it's doing anything. So I think I'm gonna DNF this. 184 pages in, stopping on chapter 29. I can't. No. I think, who would like this? Who would like this? I feel like my friend Sophia would like this because it's got like the romance tropes in it and it's very, very light on the fantasy. I've seen some people like call it cozy fantasy and I don't think it's cozy at all. Well, it's not brutal, but like the vibes aren't cozy, you know? Like whenever I read cozy fantasy, what makes it cozy is like the community or the like feeling of like the characters all together, and it's like found family. It's soft, it's sweet, it's very descriptive. There's lots of sensory stuff happening in the prose, and it's a little chill and stuff like that. But like someone's trying to kill her boss, like that's not chill. And I get that it's a little bit, it's like leaning towards like the funny side, but I don't think this is cozy fantasy. I think this is a fantasy romance wrapped in a YA blanket, and I hate saying that this is YA because it is clearly not marketed as YA. It was not written as YA, but holy shit, is it childish. Maybe Sophia wouldn't even like it because I know that's not her brand either. There's no like spice. I don't know. Sophia, do you want this? Let me know. I know you watch my vlogs. If you want this book to give it a try, let me know, and maybe you'll like it. Maybe you'll like how cutesy it is in some places. Maybe you'll like these tropes more than I will, but it is now. I don't even know what time it is. I think it's about midnight-ish, just after midnight. I'm gonna just kind of not read for the rest of the night and we'll see. So that's 2 books down. for the weekend. Tomorrow I think I'll probably give a good shot on Fourth Wing. Decidedly give that one a good try. I'll turn off my brain. My biggest thing that I'm worried about with Fourth Wing is the actual writing. I have heard so many people complain about the dialogue and how unrealistic the dialogue is. So I'm preparing myself to hopefully shut off my editor brain, which I couldn't do with Assistant to the Villain when I was reading it physically. So maybe the audiobook will help with Fourth Wing. I want to know the hype, you know? But yes, my hexagon is slowly growing. So this is one of those, as I said, hexagon sweaters. So it looks real janky when you just have it as a piece of fabric. But what it's supposed to be is like something like this. I won't fold it like this. Actually, I'll fold it like this because that's where the weird seam is. Something it also needs to be blocked because fabric. But yeah, so it'll be like this is the arm and this is the body kind of a thing, and you just kind of keep going in it, like you make the back and the front at the same time, and then you make two of these, two arms. We'll see how it goes. But I'm doing a solid one instead of one that's all granny square with holes, because I wanted to make it like a pullover so I could wear it without a layer underneath, because I don't like layers. It bothers me like in a sensory way. I don't love layers. The only layers I will do are like a t-shirt and a cardigan, and even that has to be like laid perfectly, but I don't do like a camisole underneath sweaters. Like I can't do it. I haven't been able to do that since I was a kid. Weird bit of insight on me, but yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Oh God, is my magic circle broken in the middle? Don't tell me. I think I fucked up my magic circle in the middle. Do I have to restart this entire fucking thing? Oh my God. No, don't tell me. Because if this is broken, literally, I have nothing else to hold this together. Oh my God, it is. Ah! Okay. Okay. We're gonna frog this entire fucking thing and start over. Anyways, at least I know how to do it now. Oh, what a night. It's fine. Anyways, tomorrow book club's in the morning. I will probably see you then. For now, this is where I will be, frogging this panel now. Oh, that would have been fun. I thought that's where it was gonna go originally.
Why, like, he ignored all these red flags.
Happy Sunday. I am here reading Fourth Wing. I am 121 pages in. And I don't hate it. My friend Hannah, she said when she was over, I think I mentioned this before, but she said it's like reading Divergent. That's exactly it. It's giving YA. It's giving action-packed Divergent, but with just a little bit more like teeth, with like sex appeal, I guess. I haven't yet got to any of the actual horny parts, and I think my friend said that I think Hannah said that it was around the 75% mark where like it started kicking in, which is not what I was expecting. From all what I've heard, like the whole thing, it was just like horny. So we'll find out, I guess. But I'm 121 pages in and I'm not hating it. Like, I'm kind of enjoying myself. I want more dragons, which might be a request and a wish that I regret as I get through this, depending on how they do that. But as so far, I'm truly not hating this. It is definitely reading YA. But from what I understand and how horny it gets, how sexy it gets, it's very much not YA. It's definitely giving reading Divergent when I was in high school. It's giving that same flavor. And I've watched enough reviews of this book of people just complaining about it or really liking it, and I can firmly say that I really don't love Dane, her friend. So if you don't know what Fourth Wing is about, Fourth Wing follows Violet, who is the daughter of a really high up like general, and her sister is also an incredibly high ranking writer as well. And her father was a scribe, but her father passed away a number of years ago, and she was going to go and follow his footsteps because she has a disability that makes her physically weaker, and she's tinier and she's very brittle. Like her ligaments and her bones break and tear and pull a lot easier than someone who is able-bodied. So that is her whole thing. Like she's been training to be a scribe her whole life until her mom was like, psych, you're actually going to be a writer, because literally no one in this family cannot be a writer. And she's like, well, what about dad? And she's like, your father's dead. I don't give a shit. You're going to be a writer. The only way you're getting out of this is if you get through the trials and become a writer, or you die. So her mom sucks. Her mom completely sucks. Everyone else in Violet's life is like, hey, you need to be a scribe because that's where you're going to be safest, because we all know you're going to die. Which is like, what a vote of confidence in Violet's abilities. So far, homegirl is killing the game. Like, she is putting her whole essence into just surviving, and she's killing it. So that's like the whole thing. And right off the top, she has to go through a trial to get into the basically just like training grounds for the writers, because that stretch kills off the unworthy or whatever. It kills off like 60 plus people in the beginning because they slide or they lose their balance or whatever. So she goes through this, she makes a friend in doing it, and also saves her life because she has like really grippy boots because her sister kitted her out in rider gear, and this really epic like dragon scale corset, which is just so sexy. Love that for her. But yeah, Violet makes friends with a girl named Rhiannon and gives her one of her boots so that like they trade, like each of them have a slippery boot and then a steady boot, and they make it across the parapet. She also makes some enemies right away and meets this one guy named Xaden, who is the son of whoever killed her brother. And there's this whole like class of people who are they a class of people, or are they just like the rebels or whatever? Rebels' parents, to be punished, the kids were all marked and forced into conscription in this ongoing war that's happening between Griffin riders and dragon riders, essentially, is what I understand so far. And Xaden's father, whomever, killed Violet's brother, and then Violet's mom, executed his parents or whatever. So like there's a whole vendetta against Violet and the Soren? How do you say your last name? Sorengales. So like a whole group of kids are like super against the Sorengales and trying to kill her at every turn. But Xaden is a third year, and he's like this super sexy, like we understand he's so beautiful because every time he's mentioned, he is described as being the most beautiful man that Violet has ever seen. He's like so fucking tall that she doesn't even come up to his chest. She's an itty bitty little lady. She's so teeny tiny, and he's so big. So the two of them kind of immediately have this animosity towards each other, but they don't really hate each other. They just have this like ingrained familial hate. So they like butt heads, but they don't necessarily like hate each other. And it's an interesting dynamic. So she meets them as well. And then Dane, her best friend, her childhood best friend, is a second year, and he's already like bonded to a dragon, and he's elevated in status, and he's really, really talented. So he's high up, and he's their like squad leader or whatever. And he's trying the entire time to get Violet out and into the scribes where he thinks she belongs. I get that he's doing it because he wants to protect her and he doesn't want to see her die, but he's so selfish about it. Like he's just like, I don't want to see you die. Don't do it for you, do it for me. Like trying to convince her to leave, because he's like, I've talked to all these people, they're still willing to take you over the scribes, and your mom won't even know, because the whole thing is that her mom will like pull her from the scribes if she tries to go to the scribes and like put her back in the riders, and that's like extremely humiliating to have your mom, be like, nah bitch, you gotta stay in class. Dane is like, do it for me. I've talked to the scribe people and they'll take you and then they'll just make you a scribe so that like your mom can't do anything, so that like I don't have to see you die. It's all about him. It's literally every conversation they have is about her not being good enough to be a writer. So like it's grating on me a little bit because Dane is grating on me a little bit, but I will say, the writing so far isn't actually that bad. As I said, Reed's really YA, so that's probably where it's coming, and I have such low expectations right now. I'm just vibing. I'm just listening to the audiobook because I'm crocheting. Like, this is a vibe. This is a whole ass vibe. I'm enjoying myself, which is wild to say. I'm gonna keep listening to it, keep vibing. I don't know if I'm going over to mom and dad's. I haven't heard from them in the past few hours because they said they were kind of busy today. If I don't hear from them in the next hour, I'll be making dinner for myself. That's a-okay. It's kind of a gloomy day, It's a little chilly out. It feels like we're getting close to fall. Tomorrow is my first day back teaching, which keeps hitting me with like a jolt of anxiety, which I think is just the universe telling me that I should probably make this my last year of teaching. Oh my god, I mean this will be my like 13th year of teaching now, and I'm tired of it. I love it, don't get me wrong. I'm tired of it. I know it's only Mondays and Tuesdays, but I'm tired. Just, who's to say? Anyways, that's kind of what it is. It's Sunday. What a day. I'll let you know how I feel when I hit like the halfway mark of fourth week to see if we're still going okay, but so far, we're still going okay. Hello, friends. I'm currently making dinner because I haven't heard from my parents, so who knows what they're doing. I wanted to pop in because, oh shit, that went under my oven. It's fine. Because I am well over halfway through fourth grade now. I fucking love this book. Oh, well, no, I don't love it, but I'm having a great time. Oh god, it feels so stupid for me to admit that because I know it's not like a great book, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun and ridiculous. And it's as I said, it's giving me those feelings of reading Divergent when I was a teenager. Like, it's giving the enjoyment of reading again and reading something like super action-packed and full of really high stakes. From first person, I think just gives everything a level of, oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know. Like, it just gives something, it gives. It gives a level of enjoyment that I can just shut my brain off and still really enjoy this book. I don't know, I haven't read something like this in a long time. I've enjoyed books, I've read books that I've enjoyed, obviously, but it's just been a while since I've enjoyed a book like I did when I was a teenager. I think that's what I'll explain it as. Like, when I was a teenager, I was reading books like out of the library, like they were, you know, just candy. Just as whatever I could get my hands on, I was enjoying it. It's when I was reading like the PC Cast books that she wrote with her daughter, you know, that vampire series. I read Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater, all that. They all had this same feeling, and this is when I read like Divergent and everything, when The Hunger Games was at its peak. The movies were coming out and people were like getting into it again, and my grade 10 teacher had us read it in class because she knew how else are you gonna get a room of, I don't know how old you are in grade 10, but grade 10-year-olds to focus on a book other than give them something that they're gonna love, like The Hunger Games. Also, sorry if you can hear the pot boiling. Yeah, I haven't had a book that's given me this like compulsively readable feeling in a really long time, and it's lovely. It's fun. It's not a great book by any means, but I fucking love the dragons. And now we're starting to get into like the more sexy stuff, which isn't like blatantly like sex scenes, but it's close to, you know? Anyways, I just thought I'd update you. I want to start doing this. I'll chat with you guys later.
I have two more ready for me to play, and then now Paradise is another thing after it. So we're still working on this one. We're gonna keep playing this one a lot, and we have 3 other games to play that are
Why?
ending throughout October.
Oh.
Videos. Because it's fun.
What the fuck? Why did I love this so much? It's so unnecessarily horny, but it was so fucking good. Oh my god. This shit had me crying at the end. I have never read a book with 2 love interests that have made me so fucking happy like this one has. Because my god, the one thing that annoys me the most in a lot of these angsty YA coded books is when one of them is like, no, I can't do this, you can't love me, and then the other person is like, fine, you don't love me then, and runs away and just loses it. And this one is like, no, they won't let each other go. Oh my god, I love it so much. I fully expect to date this book. I fully expected to hate this book, and I fucking loved it. What the shit? I'm laughing at myself. I'm laughing at myself because this book was so good. And it wasn't good. It's not a good book by any means, but it's so fucking good. Why do I feel embarrassed for liking this book so much? Literally, I had an hour left on the audiobook, guys, and I went and bought the book from Indigo and pre-ordered the second one. So I have my own copy coming to me because I want to reread this shit so bad. This was so good. The world building was so whack. It's not a good book by any means, but fuck was it great. I was talking to my friend Hannah, who's still reading it right now. She's like, I said, this book is so fucking good. And she says, it's like crack, you just can't put it down. That's exactly it. Oh my god. This is giving me exactly the same feelings that I had when I would read a book when I was a teenager and just fall so in love with it, like Divergent, like The Hunger Games. What a book. I can see why people love this shit so much. I think Hannah even said, like, it's like someone wrote a book and said, here's a book that you couldn't read as a kid, but like, it's exactly what you wanted to read. And that's exactly it, because oh my god, is it horny. But like, I went into this expecting it to be like disgustingly horny. This was enjoyable. This was enjoyable. Am I gonna get into fantasy romance because of this book? I mean, if fantasy romance continues to be like fucking fourth wing, I'm in. I am in. The dragons? Oh my god. And Darna is my sweet shiny baby. I love her so much. Oh my god. Alright, well, what a fucking weekend of reading. Holy shitballs. Read that murder book, How to Kill a Guy and Get Away with It or whatever. I should have explained what book club was like today. It was great. We all collectively agreed that it was kind of bad too, though. Like the book, I think it got two stars, a 3-star, and I haven't yet read it through Compile, so I don't know what I'm rating it. But like it had so much promise, and there's so many ways that it could have gone better, but like it just wasn't giving. But I had a good time reading it. It was fun to listen to a woman castrating a man while you're walking around Michael's looking at yarn. So that was this morning. And then I DNF'd Assistant to the Villain because I can't stand... Did I explain this to you guys? Yeah, I think I did. I DNF'd Assistant to the Villain. I just couldn't stand the actual main character. It was so insufferable. And then I read this bad boy. Here I was. I'm humbled. Here I was at the beginning of this thinking, how far am I going to get into this before I DNF it? Because I know I'm going to hate this book. People are talking about how bad the dialogue is, which it's not even that bad. This reads like a teenage YA book. Like I said, it reads like fucking Divergent. Like, it's not even that bad. I didn't find a single cringy dialogue, and maybe I was listening to it on the audiobook so it was better, but I was fine with it. The writing was fine. It was so engaging. Here I was thinking that it was absolutely going to be just awful, and it was so fucking good. Like, 5 stars in enjoyment, for fucking sure. It's not a new favorite, but like enjoyment, 5 stars. I'm gonna have to run it through Compile to see what it ends up actually being. But oh my god, I had so much fun with this book. Oh my god, I can't wait to see where the sequel goes. Hello, my lovely friends. Happy Monday. I am popping in to officially close out this vlog because I forgot to do that before leaving for work. And it is now 11 because I've been editing this vlog since I got home from work at 9:30. So, what a day. First day back of teaching was lovely though. My kids are good this year so far. So far, I have most repeats, so I think I had 1 new kid, and I've taught her before as a sub. But now I'm here editing this long vlog, so I figured I should pop in and let you know what I rated everything, how I feel, the end of this weekend shindig. This has been a weekend. Yeah, started with my birthday party on Friday, which was so lovely. It's so fulfilling. I think I had this conversation with my therapist on my last therapy session in August where I was talking to her about the fact that like this feels like the summer of healing for girlhood and like healing your inner child with like the Taylor Swift Eras tour that's going around, the release of Speak Now, because that was my favorite album as a kid. I let myself scream the lyrics at 1 a.m., not even caring about my neighbors, which is something that I would have never done at home, like living with my parents. I never did. If I was listening to music in the basement, I'd just be like quietly singing to myself because I didn't want to bother them. But the fact that I let myself scream those lyrics out loud, unreal. And then watching the Barbie movie with my friends and like dressing up and having like a really great day. And then just now with my friends at my birthday party doing crafts, something that I haven't done with friends since I was a little girl. Then reading Fourth Wing and living my best, reliving my best like angsty teenage love of a book. It's so good. Like, I don't know how I can describe this feeling that this book gave me. Like, I know rationally and in my English major certified author brain that this is not a quote unquote like good piece of literature, but fuck if it's not a great book. You know, like, I've been trying to figure out a way to describe this, and all I can say is like it gave me the same feeling that reading Divergent, The Hunger Games, and any old Classy Claire book gave me when I was in high school. That's what this gave me now, which is insane. Like, reliving that feeling is insane. We are healing our inner child with this summer, friends. And the fact that summer is now officially over, but it's time for Bog Girl Fall, I guess. It's been a great weekend. I thrive, okay? It was thrive. Like, started out with my party with my friends, made some really cute stuff. Then on Saturday, going out and shopping for yarn and going to the thrift store and listening to a woman and murder men in my ear holes with How to Kill Men and Get Away with It. I only ended up giving this 3 stars. I had a great time listening to it though. Like, it had so much potential to really do so good, but it just didn't quite hit in that way. But it was still a lot of fun to be listening to murder when I was walking around looking at yarn, you know, like, it was a great day. But then I ended up DNFing Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer, which I am a little sad about, mainly because I was so excited about this and like hoped, and I was really hoping that it would be something so fun, and it just really didn't work for me. But that's okay, because we turned the fucking weekend around, my guys, with Fourth Wing, because I gave this 4 stars. Like, it's a 5-star in enjoyment. It's not a new favorite, and it's not a great, perfect book, which is why it gets 4 stars for me. And I am so goddamn excited to see what happens next. Anyways, my friends, what's this week? This week, we are officially September 11th today, which is crazy. This Friday, I'm handing off A Little Luck to my proofreader, so this week I have to wrap up any last minute edits that I have for that and get that book off to my proofreader on Friday, which is insane. And then after that, I am letting myself start thinking about book 3, which I'm so excited about. I'm so excited to just let the creativity on that book thrive, because I have nothing else on my mind then. I don't have A Little Luck on my mind. I don't have another book wanting or waiting to be read. I can just actually spend the time on that book, which I'm so excited to do. And then that's what I'm going to be spending the rest of my fall and winter doing, is writing that book, which is going to be so exciting. I am so ready for it. What I can tell you about that one, Project Favor, it's not outwardly a visibly queer couple, but it is a queer couple because Zanby is bisexual and he is the main love interest. And I'm not sure about Mary yet, but she's giving queer in some way. I have to investigate her a little bit. But yeah, so it's between Mary and Zanby. Mary is the hedge witch, quote unquote hedge witch, a little kind of like reclusive witch who lives just outside of Arrowmount. There's been mention of her house in a second story if you are a very perceptive reader. And in A Little Luck, there's a mention of something else that has to do with Mary's story as well. And you actually meet Zanby in A Little Luck. He's a town's guard that you meet, and he's friends with Cece. So you meet him. It's their story where it's kind of Beauty and the Beast leaning, which I never thought I would say. It's a little Beauty and the Beastie, but like a little gender bent, completely reinvented vibes. It also has the trope of raising a magical creature together. So it's not just their romance, even though their romance is like the center part of this story. It's going to have a lot more going on. And I think it's going to be a huge favorite of people because it was inspired, like the original idea was inspired by like Hosier and Florence and the Machine. So I'm leaning into those vibes. It's very witchy. It's gonna be a perfect release for next fall. Hopefully I can get it out for next fall. So I need to actually start writing it. But anyways, that's a little end of the vlog teaser for those of you who have watched all the way through. I love you so much. And yes, oh, what a weekend. What a weekend. I wanted this wrap up to be short, but it's not. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna catch you guys in another video very soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.